Greetings. Welcome back to a cup of conversation and food for thought with me, Nidra Simmons. I apologize for the late start, but that bed was feeling a little too good this morning. Um, I know I'm tired and it's time to take that rest. And when your body usually tells you that it's time to sleep, you should sleep. But if you have to work, you got to work too. But anyway, I want to come on and I want to first off by saying to all of you, I do not own the rights to the music. The music is just playing in the background. It is in the background to set the tone. It is also in the background to help contribute to the conversation if need be. Um, so as always, I come on, I give honor and glory to Mother, Father, God, Universe. Thank you, God, for waking us up this morning. Thank you, God, for being so awesome and so wonderful in our lives. Thank you for watching over us as we slept last night. Thank you for keeping us so peacefully resting throughout the morning that it caused some of us to not want to get out of bed. But thank you, God, for love, life, health, and strength, and the ability to move and get out of bed. Thank you, God, for just being so awesome and so wonderful, God. You are truly, truly an awesome God and worthy of all the praises. I thank you for just everything, God. You are truly, truly an awesome God. You are so wonderful. These blessings I ask in your holy name. Thank you for protecting over us and watching over us and keeping us wearing the full armor of God. I don't know if I said, I'll say it again. The helmet of salvation, breastplate, righteousness, shield of faith, sword of God, sword of truth, truth of peace. Thank you for providing for us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in every way possible. Continue to be with us throughout the day. Continue to have your way in my life. Less of me, God, more of you. Guard my mouth so my mouth can speak and reach to those that you desire me to speak to, and allow it to help people. Um, Thank you for just everything. Thank you for our big brothers, Jesus, archangels, guardian angels, Jesus, our big brother, archangels, guardian angels, all angels in the highest, Christ, like ancestors, guardian ancestors, spirit team, here and far. Thank you for all that you do. Um, these blessings I ask in your holy name. Amen. All right, y'all. I'm sleepy. Even got so sleepy that to the point to where my prayers started repeating each other itself. But anyway, thank you all for joining the live today. Thank you for just being so awesome. I'm going to go ahead and close this door 1 second. Go 5 for 5 on college basketball picks to win $10,000 in fan cash to spend on apparel, tickets, and more. This way I don't have to keep looking at it in the mirror and I can straighten the camera. But anyway, I was scrolling through the internet yesterday and I seen a lot of topics on relationships. And there's this one topic that had a lot of people on it and it was very interesting. Sorry, y'all. I kind of had to get myself ready this morning quick. But anyway, I was looking through it and I seen a lot of interesting things on there. And there was a panel that was talking about relationships and they were talking about, how, being single. But the topic or umbrella I'm going to fall under today is relationship reflections. So this is a conversation on reflections on relationships, things that you've learned from previous relationships, things that you're going to do better in new relationships. So we've talked about this before, but we're now getting to the point to where we ask or looking for detailed things that we can use or others can use to help them get out of their relationship, because some people are trying to get out of their relationship and don't know how to. Some people um, just want a relationship. So, and I know you can get ideas from looking at, or listening to other people. And on this particular panel, it had people talking about, how they've learned and their profession turned into their life understanding themselves. Like there was someone on there that said she was a psychiatrist or she went into psychology, and and part of her reason going into that is her past. Good morning, thank you for joining live. And somebody was on here before that said they were sober. Congratulations on that too. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get it all set in there. But yeah, a lot of us go through in our professions end up turning into what we're overcoming in life. And what I was reminded to, and I was looked at, shared with by somebody else too, that was telling me that if, ooh, all right, technical difficulties, camera fell down on TikTok. We'll get it together this morning. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah. Um, I forgot I was going to say. It's almost the weekend, so thank you God for that. Um, but I don't know, maybe there's something in the air, but it's just been, I've been very tired for a couple of weeks, but this, yesterday and today is like really, really, really tired. But I've been pushing myself to go forward and keep going. Um, Probably because I had to do a lot of schoolwork, using my brain more than normal. But I thank you all for joining the live. Much appreciated. And to go back to the topic, it's about relationship reflections. And I was saying how what we go through. Oh yeah, that's where I was going. When whatever you've done the most as a child, you know, whatever you was gravitating to as a child, that's probably going to be the field that you're in, most likely, not necessarily, but most likely in the future. Like with me, I was always around children. I was always, if I was with a group of children, I was the one that they would say, well, you watch the rest of the kids, or whatever the case might be. So much so that my career now is teaching. I teach little minds, little kids. So it's like I was prepared for what I am doing now as I was younger. And I thought that was interesting to look at. And that also reminded me when I looked at relationship reflections. It was the reflections that I look back at my life to see where I am right now and why I'm here doing what I'm doing. It's because I was introduced to this from a very early age on to now. And relationships, we go and we look back at the past relationships and we look at the things in the relationships that we've been through that we're now deciding that we don't want to go into or continue because either A, we didn't like it, B, it didn't work for us, or C, we've changed and we want different things. We want new things. We want to go experience things on a different level that's not so hard, or whatever the case might be. Or perhaps somebody might want a challenge and need a challenge. So they will go in and look at their past relationships, going into their new ones without looking back at that. And then you got some just don't really look at their relationships that deep. They just want to be with somebody, so they'll just take whatever they get and just go with the flow and move, whichever way floats their boat. So I'm a person that as I've grown, I've learned that I need to be and I want to be more intentional. I want to do things that make sense. I want to do things on purpose. I want to do things for a reason. And I know I'm not the only one out there that thinks that way. Once you live life and you go through life, once you know better, you do better. And that's one of the things that I try to do. I try to do better because when I know better, then I can flow better. And it's all about how things make sense to you. You have to put things in a way into your mind that it makes sense to you so that you're able to continue on going with what it is that you're doing, so that you understand and know why you're doing what you're doing exactly, to what your extent of what you're doing. So as I was scrolling through yesterday, I saw um, a panel that had like maybe 10 guests on there, probably more, and they were talking about relationships, and it was someone that was sitting there on the screen talking to them and listening. Same thing like what I do here. And I was thinking that these topics are important. Well, thank you for sharing your parts of your dream. I am a girl, but I'm also a woman. But thank you for sharing. I had a crazy dream last night too. I don't care to share it because I don't understand it, but it was very intense. But thank you. Um, but as I was saying, as I was looking at the panel yesterday, it was very interesting, and people were really getting into it. And we have a lot of compassion when it comes to relationships. We have a lot of people that's for long-term relationships and wanting to make marriages last forever, or as long as forever is for them. And then you have those that just want to just get in a relationship and get involved with them, just do whatever they can do and move on to the next. Everybody's different. Just make sure whatever you decide to do, that you and the other person are on one accord, that you have some type of the same type of connection. I do understand that opposites attract. Opposite does attract to get you to one another, but the longer you've been with someone, like those that's been together for like 30 to 50, 60 years, they turn to the same thing. They end up liking most likely the same thing because they're so comfortable with each other that they either settle or they just, it doesn't bother them which way or another. As long as they have the other person around, that's all that matters. A lot of the youth give up. A lot of the young people give up. And it's not necessarily young people, because when I decided to take my journey on knowing myself and getting to know me, I went back to people that I knew before I was where I was, and a lot of them stayed in the same spot. They stayed in the same spot. They may have moved locations. Yeah. Well, I'm not for one-sided relationships. You got to both give and take. I've talked about that before, and I know too much firsthand about how someone can be giving, 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 giving in a relationship, and the other person is just receiving, receiving, receiving. Thank you for joining my live. Hello, how are you? So it's very interesting to see people's perceptions on what they think about certain things. Um, so thank you for joining my live. So we now spread the love instead of pouring it in one place. It all depends. I'm sharing love right now with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I'm hoping that will help people, encourage, uplift them. I'm not talking about sharing the love and jump from person to person. That's dangerous and unwise in so many ways. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the hearts. Much appreciated. I see you out there. I'm forever grateful. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of life lessons we can pick up along the way. It's just a matter of us wanting to do so. You have so many people that just, there was a point in time in my life where I was just, tired of the situations that I was in or the way that things were going for me. And I made a decision. It wasn't a wise decision, but I was like, I'm going to love whoever loves me first. Not a wise decision. Because you don't know what you're going to get yourself into. You have to learn you. You have to learn to love you. And at that point, I didn't love me because I was taking on anything, and it just was not what I wanted to do. I can't co-host on somebody else's stuff. I'm already on mine. But yeah, I thank you for the invitations. But as I was saying, there are a lot of different. You look so stylish and gorgeous. Well, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Much appreciated. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. It's a lot of things that goes on in this brain. Thank you. Much appreciated. But yeah, you once you know better, you do better, and you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn from your past experiences, and you have to do personal check-ins, and you have to love yourself. Thank you very much. I made the earrings. I mean, I put them together, so I do jewelry. So if you're interested, you can check me out on uh, Designs by Nidra on Instagram. I have to upload some more pictures in it though. But thank you. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, you have to love yourself. And for me to get to that point to say I would just take whatever comes my way, okay, was not a good thing for me because I was then directed into a lot of relationships that I could have avoided, relationships that I really didn't need to get into. But because I did get into them, I've learned from every single one of my relationships and I've moved forward. And I've learned to love myself too, realizing that, people can't treat you any kind of way unless you let them. And you need to set healthy boundaries. You need to let them know, listen, thank you, but no thank you. And people that's joining into relationships, that's set in their ways, and I'm talking about those that's been single for a very long time. Because when I was looking through it, this lady was sharing that she was single for 10 years and she enjoyed herself, her life and took care of her within those 10-year frames. So then when, you get back into a relationship, 10 years is a long time. So good morning, thank you for joining live. You're pretty much set in your ways when you come on and you get into a relationship and you've been by yourself for so long. So then you have to adjust. You got two people that's coming in, or maybe one person that's set in their ways. The other one can adjust easily, vice versa, whatever the case might be. You come together and then you have to learn one another. And it's important to have that communication and conversation, because if you just jump into a relationship and people have been single by themselves and set in their ways, the one we love are our friends, but that's my soulmate. I will connect with the wrong. Well, that's why you have to have the communication conversations, put down some ground rules and understand that, listen, this is what I'm looking for. Say it up there in the front. And if it's not going in that direction, then you kindly remind the person, listen, we had this conversation and I was hoping the relationship went this way. And you don't have to use my words. I'm just helping you get an idea of how to, get it out there for those that's afraid to speak to the other person because they might be intimidated by that person. So this way, you would be able to go ahead and just say, listen, we had set down some ground rules and talked about this before. Maybe you forgot, or maybe things got too comfortable and you just saw it a different way. But my way of thinking has not changed. I'm still, wanting to do this or have this in a relationship. But two people got to come together. You can't just be set in your ways and say, well, I've done it this way and I'm going to keep doing it this way. Well, then if that's the case, you don't want to be in a relationship. You want to keep doing it by yourself. And what I'm learning and what I've been learning, hold on. Need to get that caffeine in me. But what I've been learning is that people tend to forget that or think that they're going through things all by themselves, and they're not. 9 out of 10 times, two people that's getting together, especially the ones that had that big gap away from each other, and they get together, they've went through the same things in life. It's just you two different people. You deal with it two different ways. But even when you talk and tell people things, if it's not in their favor, people judge. And that's one thing that we as individuals need to not do. We're not to judge people because we're not perfect. And everything that you're judging somebody else for, most likely you've done it or doing it yourself. The other person's just not sharing it back at you. So it's best for both of us not to judge. If there's something that's not working out in your favor, something that you don't like or something that you don't agree with, then you say that to that person so that y'all know. Don't let one assume that what they're doing is okay because you're not saying nothing. Because in their mind, they're thinking it's fine because you didn't stop them from doing whatever it is that you don't like. Open up your mouth and have that conversation and talk to one another because it's important, and don't think that the other person can read your mind, Say what you mean and mean what you say and keep it going. I guarantee you, once you get it out of your system and you say it, you'll feel better because now you know it's there. You said it. They agreed to it. They responded to it as if they understood it. And if by chance they keep repeating it, they didn't understand it, then you just say, listen, I'm a very patient person, just like I believe you are. But this has been going on for so much, and I've said this on several occasions, and you still choose to do it your way. Then you need to make a decision. Make those decisions. And sometimes people are not on that same level of maturity. So if you have to end that relationship for a little bit and go about and do what you need to do, when the other person gets available or mature enough, and if it's meant to be, then you'll meet and you'll be on that level field that you need to be. Because I do believe that people can meet people and think that you can look at somebody and say, oh, I think I found the love of my life. But then you get into that relationship and realize that either both of you or one of you are not mature enough to handle the relationship in which you need to be in. Then you might need to separate. Learn some more about yourself. Learn some more about life. And then if time, God permit, the opportunity for y'all to come together, then y'all come together much better, much wiser. I'm reminded now of people that you might remember from school. And then you graduate, you out of school for a couple of years. You didn't have a relationship during school time, but you liked each other at that time. You had crushes on each other during that time. I'm great. How are you? Thank you for joining live. And then years later you meet and then y'all go into a relationship. And you realize that, things are flowing. And then 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 you realize that, things are flowing and some continue on and keep on and they get married and so forth. Yes, they knew each other when they were younger, but they had to mature and get past that time frame. A lot of people get stuck in time. People get stuck in time, sharing advice and building healthy boundaries. And when I say that is, if you meet someone years later, they're just stuck in what they felt as when they were young. So if that's something that happens and you guys want to get into a relationship years later and all they can see is you when you were younger, there's no maturity or there's a level of something that has not been completed. Because if you were to get into that relationship, possibly, it won't go further to where you want it to go because that other person's mindset is still on you when you were younger. So they're still looking at you in the same size that you were when you were younger. They'll tell you, oh, I don't have no problem with your sizes. But when they compliment or when they talk and say things, it's constantly reflecting back to your size when you were that's particular, that's specific. But I'm giving you an example. It might not even be the size of how you look because we all change. When we get older, we gain weight, we lose weight, we change. Or it can just be the way that you think. You thought back then you were so obedient and you were so giving and so willing. And that's what they appreciate about you back then. And then right now you live life and life and you realize it. You're not so much obedient in the fashion that you was when you were younger. So people are stuck in that mindset. So when you try to get into that relationship, one is moving towards the future. The other one is still stuck in the past. There's a disconnect in that case. And communication and conversation needs to be taking place. But what if you talk to that person and they're still stuck in the past? And every time you confront that person, I'm telling you, this is real specific. But anyway, when y'all get to each other, start talking, they act like they hear you, but then they change it around and it's like a problem on the other person that's realizing that they're stuck in the past. You're not wrong for thinking the way you think. You're not wrong for saying what you say because that's what you feel, that's what you say, that's what you mean. So it's okay. But it might not be okay for the other person because they're not you and they're not thinking along the lines that you're thinking, even though you could have been telling them over and over. But at some point, when you get sick and tired, you're going to make a change. And I think it's best to get that figured out in the beginning, although sometimes it might take a lifetime to get to know someone to the extent to where it needs to be. But you still have to go through those channels of communication. I think conversation and communication is so important. I can't stress that enough. Loving yourself and communication, two important factors. You have to be comfortable with self before you get comfortable with somebody else. You cannot be so insecure and you can't be so insecure going towards somebody else as if you're so powerful and so confident. It's a lie. It's a mask you're putting on. You're coming across like you're somebody that you're not. I'm great. How are you doing? And a lot of us do that. We come across in different ways that we're not, with the hopes of faking it until you make it. You can fake it till you make it if you're confident and you're trying to overcome fears to get to the next level. Like, for example, let's say you want to go for a job position. You know the job, but your confidence is not to where it needs to be. But the more that you're on that job, the more that you do the work, you'll build the confidence. So it's going to build up your confidence and you're going to be confident. So that's a fake it till you make it process because you're doing towards things that you're getting comfortable with the job. So when you get there, do it. You're confident. So then when you are able to move on to the next, or if it's time to change, or if you want to train somebody, you can because you've built up the confidence. You worked up a way to get it to flow so that it works for you. How long do you think one should take to get to know someone? That's a good question. How long does it take for one to get to know someone? It's usually it's all in the person. It's all in the perception. It's all in your mentality. It's all in how you are coming across. So let's say you are meeting somebody for the first time and you have no history on that person. If you have opportunities to communicate and talk with that person, and you talk to that person on a daily basis, and this is just my opinion, and you are comfortable, the vibes are flowing, you can keep a conversation. It's not like you're on the phone, it's not a dead air. You had the opportunity to meet with each other and you had the opportunity to see what your intuition and what your discernment is telling you, and you're comfortable with it and you're confident with how things are going. It doesn't take long. It can take a couple of months. It could take, I say 6 months. That's me. I think 6 months is enough time to realize how true somebody is. And that's 6 months of constant communication, 6 months of, within the 6 months, you're communicating and talking with one another. You had the opportunity to be around one another. You don't have to necessarily have done the do, but you have been around each other so that you're comfortable with each other. You know what I'm saying? And you're confident. You know enough about each other's outside life, away from each other, and you can understand and feel if they respect your home life within that time frame too, because you got people that have relations, that have children and other things going on outside of y'all meeting together, and a lot of people don't want to come on and introduce other people to their kids until they're comfortable and confident that this is going somewhere, because some people don't want that revolving door, some people don't care. So I think 6 months is a good enough time to get to know somebody, to have a good feel. It can be less than that, but I'm saying 6 months because I think it's kind of hard to keep a mask on and not have no type of no type of awareness of the true factor of that person. But you have to be able to listen to your discernment and your intuition as well in that process. Don't ignore it. If you ignore it the whole 6 months, then you're disservicing yourself. Use the God-given gifts and talents, abilities, radars that God's given you, and allow that to work in your favor. So, thank you. What is your time frame? How long do you think it should be for two people to get together? Curious to know. It's a lot of people that want to just jump in. Happy full moon. Yes. Was it yesterday or today? Blessings to you too. Thank you for joining the live. And I want to apologize to all of those two that probably got up at 5 o'clock to want to see me. I was in that bed. I've been very tired. Maybe there's just changes going on and my body is trying to adjust to it, but I've been very tired. I'm still tired now, but I'm pushing forward. And I hope that can encourage others too that's very tired and know that they have things to do, and it pushes you forward to go ahead and keep going. You got to keep going. The race is not given to the swift, but to the one that endures to the end. Sometimes you're going to have to do things tired. Sometimes you're going to do things wide awake, alert, and excited. The bottom line is you got to keep going. You got to do it. Life goes on. Life doesn't stop. But for those who are joining on here, the topic is relationship reflections. So we're talking about maybe 3 months is good. That'll work too. It all depends. You have to make time for one another though. You can't be in a relation or trying to get into a relationship and then you already got your set rules put in place that you're not going to budge or change, and then get into a relationship and expect that to stand. Because I agree that we're supposed to have boundaries. Don't get me wrong. I'm not changing that. I'm not trying to be hypocritical. We have to have boundaries, but you also have to have realistic boundaries, because you have set boundaries for yourself based off of what you dealt with in the past. There's some things you got down firm. You're not budging, not moving from it, period. Then you're going to have to look at that. And if you join somebody else into a relationship or you want to get into a relationship with somebody, you cannot be someone that is stuck in your ways and don't want to meet the person. If someone's constantly coming to see you and you're never coming to see them, you don't think that's going to be a conversation of interest? You don't think that someone's going to talk about that and say, listen, this is just too much. I'm doing all of this and you're not over here. I'm seeing your life, but you're not seeing mine. You're going to have to be able to meet each other in the middle and come to an agreement. You can have people that be like, or one person that's in a relationship and say, well, I am someone that's not going to spend money on another person. We have to have both money to do for each other, really. I'm not knocking you if that's what you think or that's what you believe, but a relationship is give and take. If y'all can't exercise that and what it feels like in the beginning, you think that person's going to wait until you decide to get married to say, okay, I'm okay with that, when no, that's something you address in the beginning. So when you do want to get to that past relationship, or present or future down the line relationship, you're not running into things because you going through the process of eliminating these walls. during the process that, while you're getting in there. You don't come in there and say, okay, I got these rules, we're going to follow. That's it. If you can't, then you're going to have to because I say so. No, it does not work that way. If you see red flags like that in the beginning, recognize what it is, a red flag. If it's something that they're not willing to change, you are not willing to change, then you're not willing to be in that relationship. Stop ignoring the red flags that's up in front of you in the beginning. If these red flags are walls that are up in the beginning, and then you waiting until y'all get so much seriously into a relationship thinking knocked out, no. Do you ever bring people up on the panel? I do. Um, I ask that if you come on the panel, that it's with the topic and that it's respectful. Don't take it over and start doing things. Because when I come on in a generic standpoint, and I come on trying to help everybody. I had someone that came on and he was very helpful, but he went into something that he's comfortable with, and I don't mind doing stuff like that, and I'll agree and disagree with certain things, but you got to be open mind when you come on a panel live like this because there's many people on that's trying to learn and hear things. You want to come on? Um, but the moment that you come off disrespect, because I've had some people come on the panel that have done some uh, childish like things, and that's why I put on my post be at least 21 years older of age to see the content. Although this might reflect younger people because we got people that's getting in relationships at a very young age, but you still have you know I try to pick it so that the conversation can flow because I want to my conversations when I come on. This is a couple conversations, food for thought. Nidra Simmons. I don't know if I said that at the beginning. And please like, share, and subscribe. Um, I come on. I want to help, and I come on with the intention of helping people. I don't want to discourage because there's so many people out there that want help but don't know how to put it into words to ask for help. You got a lot of mind readers out there, or people that think that you're mind readers out there, and I don't want to come across that way. I want to be able to come across to help people come out of that shell. If you're on that soft ground and you feel like you're sinking, I want to extend my hand out to you, bring you out of that soft foundation, and put you on something more solid. And then you go about your way. I'm not here to tell you what to do, how to do whatever it is that you do. I just want to help you with that confidence so that you can go ahead and flow. I want to give you a different way of looking at things, a different perspective, but not change your answer because you stick with what you feel. If that's what you feel, do what you feel. But I want to share with you, like, if you continue to think that way, perhaps this can, or this will, or maybe the other person, or maybe if you saw it this way, that type of thing. That's what I'm here to do. I believe communication is a form of healing. And I consider myself a life coach. So a life coach is not telling people what to do. It's helping you get to where you need to do with you being confident with yourself on moving in that direction. Period. All right, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. Hello, how are you? I'm great, thank you. I can't hardly hear you. Put the volume up on this.
Okay. So yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'm not a troll. I'm not here to troll the live or anything. But it's pretty much it's hard to really type, and
got you.
You got a lot to say. I caught on some things.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke with maturity. Um, do you know? I see myself doing things that I do,
Mm-hmm.
but when another person does it, I have an issue with that. I'd raise it up. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about how there's another point again whereby I don't understand if it's like a general cloth. I don't know, like it's like a general thing whereby I'm trying to think, how do I put it? If one person does not answer your call, you get so mad. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's that. Hey, you're supposed to answer my call, but they're busy, and then if I call the other person, if they don't answer, I'm like, okay, maybe they're busy. You give them that benefit of doubt. Mm-hmm. But with this person, supposedly the person you're supposed to be loving and understanding, you get so pissed off. And when you get angry, you know, you have those thoughts. Now you're talking to your friends. Oh, she's doing
Insecurities
this.
start to come in. Well, let me
Yeah.
ask a question. If that's the situation, are you talking about a phone conversation where you never met?
No, you've met before. Let's say you've met before.
Okay. Well then,
Mhm.
let me say it this way, because I know some people can meet, like, for example, if you meet somebody during a summertime, people have time off in the summer, and then you get together and y'all start meeting, and then reality sets in, and back to work for both parties. Is it something like that where it gets busy after you finish one season going on to a next?
Personally, this is what I'm trying to say. That personally, I believe everybody is busy and
Okay.
they're responsible for themselves. So if someone's got to pay the bills, if your phone call does not make a difference and they're trying to get it done, you're not really supposed to be, you know. I mean, if you're not in the math, you're there, but they got to pay the bill. You can't really like be saying someone should be available for, because everybody's busy trying to survive. We're all adults. We're trying to do something. You're gonna get busy one day too. You're not gonna be able to answer a call. But I think when you spoke of maturity, that's one part that I matured in, whereby sometimes I can get angry, but I've matured to a certain point whereby I don't like explode immediately. Like, hey, you should answer my calls. That's disrespectful, or etc. I just fall back and be like, okay, she's not answering my calls. Okay. This person didn't answer my calls. Why am I so angry with her? Okay. Why do we repel from the things that we love once we're in that relationship? Because I know it's great the first month, second month.
Everything's good in the beginning. That's the honeymoon phase. It's awesome in the beginning. Nobody could do no wrong because you want to be around each other. And I understand what you're saying. And, it's all about knowing yourself. If you know that you're someone that needs attention or wants to speak to somebody every day, and the other person did that and then it changed, then you need to have a conversation. And, we have to do constant check-ins. I know a lot of guys be like, well, why you keep asking me? You don't think that I love you? Why are you asking me? Well, people ask questions when they notice there's a change or if something's different. So in that communication and conversation, you should be willing to want to have a conversation with somebody. But on the same note, if there's insecurities that we carry, we need to be careful not to push that onto other people. And then we have to go back and love ourselves. So if there's attention that you need and your mate is not giving it to you, and you're trusting that they're not messing around, then that's when you go into self and start doing things that makes you feel good. That's when you have to go in and check for yourself to make sure that you're covered. You're not taking any of your insecurities out on somebody else. We like what we like, and other people like what they like. So we can't turn somebody else into what we want or make them do what we do, because we're two different people. So if it gets to the point to where you're getting so flustered because it's not working out in the way that you would do it, are you putting yourself in that particular predicament? Sometimes we have to. If we say, okay, I'm doing this and this is what they're doing, what if I put myself in the same predicament, that, vice versa, and make it make sense to you? That's all it is. Make it make sense to you first. And when I say spend time with self, you're looking at the situation and you're trying to make it make sense to you. And if you have to say it out loud and talk to God, and speak like we're speaking, you can hear it once it comes out your mouth, and then see if it makes sense. And then you move according to that.
Yeah. Definitely I get what you're saying. It's pretty much, it aligns with what I've just said right now.
Yeah.
When I say that, I step back and I think about it. And I just think I'm in a mess. Like you say that it takes I say 3 months, but you say it takes 6 months to get to know someone. But these days people they're like, I don't know how to explain it.
They're microwavable type of people. They want it right there, right then, right now. And we got people. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, not that.
Okay.
People that are wearing bulletproof vests. They got shields. People they're like people they're so So, they're fortified.
Yeah. Well, because they went through some things, they don't want to go through it again. And that comes in with maturity if they want to. And that's what I was saying too, that you got people set in their ways. They don't want to give a little, but they want to stay strong and stay firm and make it work and then let them stay charged. That's a lot of reasons.
Exactly.
Okay, it's
For
a
that
lot.
6 months,
Hmm.
they're in charge. Everything is good, and you don't see that other side.
But you
What
know that
happens when you
that's
see
when
that
you
other
try
side?
to go in and try to when you getting to know each other, and I say 6 months, you're getting to know each other and you're trying to break down the layers of that other person, not in a
Yeah.
bad way, but in a way and you can go across it real nice. Like I was in a relationship with somebody and they had a wall up, and I understood they had a wall up. In this particular case, they had a wall up because they had alternative motives. It was a wolf in sheep's clothing, so that wall was up so that I couldn't get past what they were trying to do. That's one scenario. But you can have someone that has their wall up because they've been in relationships and after relationships, and it's been the same spirit and different people, and they're trying to get past that spirit, but they can't because it keeps falling to the same person. If that's the case, then that's when that person needs to do some self check and one-on-one understanding with them. They have to build that confidence up in them so that way nobody else can have that effect on them. Now, don't confuse the fact that if you're getting bold and learning more about yourself as a shell or for a defense around getting to know that person. All that is doing is building that person. I mean, if you're doing it to help yourself, you're building yourself up so that you can be more effective with that other person. But what you're saying about putting the shields up and the wall up, that can happen because they've been hurt and they don't want to get hurt again. But that's what that conversation within that 6 months is all about. You should be able to trust your discernment and your intuition in that conversation within that 6 months. Because if you don't and you wait past 6 months and things going to get better, it's not. For all of those people that decide to get married, oh well, it's like this. Well, once we get married or have kids, it's going to get better. No, it's not. It's going to be more work on top of what you did not fix in that first 6 months that you had. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're communicating and talking in that 3 months or 6 months, that's when you guys are coming together to see if you can. And it's not. It might sound harsh this way, but you're really honestly, because I'm going to be upfront. That's the only way I can be. You're really building down the layers. If the person's like an onion, you're peeling back the layers within those first 3 months, those first 6 months to get to know. And as you're peeling these layers, you're going to get a reaction and you're going to feel a certain way. Trust what you're feeling. And then take that back to self, take that back to God, have a conversation. Is this really what I want? Do I have time for this? Because I'm going to share another example with you. But did I touch on that point that you were saying?
You know what? You're right on point.
Okay.
I've also heard it. I've seen it. But
Mhm.
there's a side of me that tells me that, hey, it's gonna get better.
If it ain't getting better with that first, trust your instincts and trust your, because you may in your mind say it's going to get better because you want it to get better, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to pay attention to the signs that's there. I'm going to share something with you. I lost my husband. Right, I'm a widow, and
So I'm bad.
thank you. But and I'm not saying that for I'm just saying to get to the point. The point that I'm trying to make is when my husband was alive, I had a lot of red flags and things that I ignored because it's gonna get better. We're married, we're doing this under God, we're gonna make it, that's my mindset. My mindset. I say again, my mindset. That's not the way he was thinking. And he's not here to defend himself, so I can't even find out if that's what he was thinking. But the point I'm trying to make is you go through oh, don't let me lose that point. Bring it back to me, God. Bring it back. Um, it, oh. But anyway, you go through relationships, and darn it, I lost my thought.
No, it's all right. I'm over here. It's only 5:26 a.m. So
It's 6:26 over here, and I had a late start because I was tired. But what was I going to say? It was along the lines of, oh, okay. So during the marriage, I had saw red flags, but I didn't pay attention because I thought it was gonna get better. So then when he passed away and he left, and I was forced to go ahead and live life. It was like movies in my head. You know how you watch movies and you got the playbacks, you see the it shows you what's going on now, and then all of a sudden there's a little music playing, and then it goes back to when they were younger. That is what I was having every day after he passed, and it was a conversation that we had came in my head. I remembered there was a picture. It was everything that I thought was going to get better I had opportunities to see where it was not going to get better. I had moments of where I said, you know, God was showing you this at this point, this at this point, and I just ignored it. So I'm saying all this to say because we ignore the radar, the ability, the gift that God's given every one of us. People disagree. Some people say we don't all have discernment and intuition. I tell you, we do. It's just up to you to be able to sit down quiet enough to pay attention and listen. Because this world that we live in, they know how this body is working. This world is going to try to make you go crazy, fill you up with bills, and this got to get done, that got to get done, you got to be here, you got to do that. All that stuff, I think is a strategic plan of the enemy. If they can get you off your path and not keep you to where you want to go, then they got you. But that's why you have to learn to go back to basics and loving yourself and building on yourself and knowing who you are, whose you are, and what you carry. Once you know that, without a shadow of a doubt, nobody can take that from you. And then you can move forward. That's not by any means saying put up a shield of defense and saying that you can't get me because I'm hard. No, you know who you are. You know what you want to deal with. You know what you're not going to take. You know if you get angry, this is what's going to happen. You know that you have control of controlling your anger. You can get yourself down calm.
I snap. Oh my God.
Well, see, that's why if you know you snap, don't get to that point. Let the other person know. Listen, I can really have an attitude. I can get upset. I don't like to be angry. That's why I tell people I laugh. People are like, why are you laughing? That's my defense. Be glad that I'm laughing.
I get it.
So that's what I'm saying. You have to learn yourself and know without a shadow of a doubt who you are. Because then if you do that, you'll get cues. God will show you things ahead of time. If somebody that you know constantly aggravates you, you may not catch it the first time, but then they'll do it the second time. Catch it then. Things that come to you, things that come to your mind. You just got to be quiet enough and grounded. Keyword grounded. Because if you're grounded on a solid foundation, you can't be moved. You're there long enough to get the hit. You're there long enough to get the cue. You're there long enough to get what it is that you need to get to recognize it, and then you can move on. That's why grounding is so important. But you got to get to that point. So if you know what ticks you off, you pre-act. Is it pre-act, post? You act beforehand before it gets out of line. And that's why I usually too, when I say my lives or when I do put my videos on and I post them, I say stay in character. I remind people.
Videos too?
Huh? Yeah.
On the page.
I have over 450 videos on YouTube.
Oh, for real? I'll go and subscribe. Is it on the bio?
I think it is. If you go into because it'll tell you as I consider myself a woman of God, a CEO of a business because I make jewelry. It says that I'm a life coach, and it says that I'm a content creator. So all that should be on there. But if you're interested, YouTube is under my name, Nidra Simmons, and subscribe. Please subscribe, and you'll see a whole bunch of videos that is intended to help. Encourage. I never tell people what to do. I always come on to encourage and uplift. That's my basis. I believe communication and conversation is a way of healing. It's free and everybody can benefit from it. And we need to know how to talk to people. So, and that's another thing too. If you know that you don't like to be yelled at and screamed at or cursed at, then don't do it to somebody else. Put yourself in that predicament.
We do it. You know what? I got moments like I love communication, but I know there are days where I don't want to communicate.
You want to just be quiet.
I want to chill all day. I don't know. I just your phone can ring. You're like, oh no.
Don't answer it. Wait. Hold on. Do you say that you don't answer that on those days that you want to be by yourself? Is that what I heard?
But people say a lot of things when they're by themselves, but I end up answering anyway.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like, like you've been trying to have that down moment, and you're like, you need it, and it's okay. I made this bed. I made the bed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I gotta lie in it. So I'm thinking.
Good morning.
There's another issue.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the beginning when I was talking to you. You understand how God works in life and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I had a mom, my mom,
mm-hmm.
my sister too.
Mm-hmm.
They were very prayerful people.
Mm-hmm. It's important.
Listen, I'm not married, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for me to date, to try to choose a partner. I haven't really tried to look for someone within, like the churches and those part. But then I do pray. I believe in God. I was baptized at an Anglican church. I understand it when someone says, let's kneel down and pray. I understand what it takes and what's required of me. Right? The whole point is the person I'm with, we barely mention God in this relationship. And I don't know. The funny thing today, I met a couple at work. This couple, they're pretty much old. The husband is Jewish, the wife is Christian. And he's turning 100 in May, and she's like 80 something.
Congratulations to them.
But they're doing it perfectly fine. So then I went back today and I'm like, okay, this woman probably doesn't like talking about this, about how important God is. Because even some of the problems we try to solve, a man can come and solve your problems financially. But at least, as a woman, have that stronghold, like fortify, whatever the problems that are there with prayers. Like, because for me, that's what I used to see. And I believe that a woman should be, I don't want to impose it on anyone, but how do you deal with those differences? How do you is this something that I'm supposed to build within them? Like, hey, let's do this, or send a verse, or hey, let's do that.
Okay.
How do you encourage it? But I believe women, I don't want to put it on women. Listen, I'm not trying to trigger it, but
I got an answer for you.
Yeah. Okay, you'd understand. The younger generation wouldn't understand. You'd understand that women would pray for the household, hold the household down. Even men now, they do the same. But it's hard for me as a man who grew up in that house. If I have a woman whereby when you speak about God, that conversation is pretty much limited.
Let me ask you this question: are you ashamed to pray in front of her?
Pray for her?
No. Are you afraid to pray in front of her? Like, if you felt the need to pray, would you feel comfortable praying in front of her? You're not a prayer?
I'm not afraid to.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to pray in front of her.
Okay. So if you're not afraid, you're her first teacher, your example. We teach people how to treat us. So if she sees that you're praying and you're praying to God that this is a match and that she's for you, then there'll be a connection. By you doing it and she's seeing it, she may do it, but don't think that you want to do it because you're not as open. So she's probably shying away. You don't know, unless y'all had that conversation. And if you have had that conversation and you know that she loves God, then you just do what you do that you normally do, and then she can gravitate. Because you said some things. You said it in your eyes, you think it should be the woman. The way that I was taught. No, I'm not pinpointing. I just want to say something because she might be thinking this way too. And I don't want to change your answer. Keep what you say. I'm just giving you another perspective of how it could be, or what to look at, how to consider it. Now she might be thinking that it's the man, because the Bible. Well, I can't pinpoint it, but this is what I was told, that the man is supposed to set the household, set the tone for the house. The man is supposed to lead the house in prayer. She might think that's what it is. But the way society has changed it and took the man out of the house and or put the man in the house and took the woman out and made the woman work, the reverses, the roles have changed. And it caused a lot of men to be weaker than what they were accustomed to, or maybe they were weak back then. I don't know, but I'm just saying. It changed the dynamic of how things were used, how it was supposed to be when it was brought up a certain way. So maybe she needs you to show her as an example of how to do it or what to do, because she may not know. Even though she's a woman, she may not have had that example set for her. But you already, as you stated, you had an example set for you. So you use your example and do it so that she can gravitate to it, because she may not know. And that's why I say a lot of people think that we're mind readers, or the other person's a mind reader, because you go through things and you see it one way. She may not have that upbringing in her household, or she may have, but maybe something happened to her to where she blamed it on God, which I know people do it. You don't need to do it, because we are all responsible for our own choices. We have free will. So we can choose to do right, or we can choose to do bad. The consequences is in your favor to whatever you decided on in your choice. But simply saying, in your case, she may not know how to, so she needs you to show her, but you know how to. So if that's something that you're used to and accustomed to, Do that in front of her and see how it. Well, first of all, have that conversation so you know without a shadow of a doubt. So you're not assuming. Do you love God? Do you don't love? You flat out ask her. She give you that answer. Then you know. And then if it's a yes, she does, then you go ahead and do what you believe or what you were taught, and then show that to her. And then that's something y'all can do together. Good morning, y'all. Thank you for joining.
4 minutes. I always tell people this: if you want to have a conversation about God, don't ever ask them, "Do you love God?" It can go the good way or the bad way. So I'm still trying to think a way to break it down. Like, hey,
do you believe in a higher power? And ask them what that higher power is. You don't have to say, "Do you love God?" Do you believe in? What is your thoughts?
Yeah. Man, you spoke about, like backing up if you haven't, but you telling me to try this new thing, it's going to prolong the relationship. Because I'm not that guy that breaks up with anybody. Like, if I see something not working out for me, I step away slowly. I'll still support you, but eventually I'll fade away and still watch you from the distance. I'll be happy for you. I don't have any problem with the exes I've had. But this certain relationship, I had so much, I invested so much time in it. For the first time, I think it's been like more than a year.
You let your guard down.
It was like, well, 3 months, serious months. I'll do 3 months. Get busy with life. If it doesn't work out, you move on. Maybe 4 or 5 months, you meet someone else, get to know them, and do another 3 months. And I realized I'm too grown for this. I'm getting tired. So I decided I met a woman, try to get to know her, try to invest. I've never taken birthdays so seriously, Valentine's, everything, that financial responsibility. But when you feel like you're going in the wrong direction, yeah. So yeah, so that thought that I brought to you, like, hey, how do you know that 6 months is enough? What if they're hiding something? Now I'm dealing with something beyond the honeymoon phase.
Well, I think 6 months will let you know some of the reality. But go ahead, sorry.
And also the God part, I just believe that I should work on myself, and I know us boys, I know us men. If you have a strong woman that prays with you on the side, even when you stray, you can go back on the right path. You could both be stray. A blind person can lead a blind person. That type of thing. I think that's where the term like opposites attract type of thing, because if we both do certain things, we're gonna both end up in the same place. But if the other person can hold you back, and if I can hold them back too, that's where I took that word from, that opposites attract. Because we're built differently. If we're built the same way, one part of the body suffers, the rest of the body is gonna suffer. You understand? That's why it takes a doctor to heal a person. A doctor can never heal a doctor. A doctor can never heal themselves, but another doctor can heal a doctor. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I hear what you say. Your terminology. I'm a very literal person, so your terminology is not flowing. But okay, and this is why I say this, because a doctor only knows how to help you, heal you through what they're learning, their knowledge. They're trained to look up. They know where to look to get these terminologies and names, and everything has a description based off of us giving them that input. So, I do think a doctor can heal a doctor. A non-doctor can heal a doctor. It all depends on where you're looking and what you know and experience and so forth. So that's just the literal part of me. But I understand that what you're saying is opposite attract, and that you need to.
My example was wrong. I'm trying to say that a doctor, right? Like, I'm a doctor.
Okay.
I cannot heal myself. because me is me. Like, you get it? Like, me, I am me. But if there's someone who has different thoughts, someone who has different versions,
like my song,
different, who makes different observations, that's another doctor, right?
Okay.
And they're going to tell you, hey, what you're seeing and what I'm seeing are two different things. I know you feel that way, but this is what I can see. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
We all have our own perspective. Yeah, we have our own. We see things in how we see it because we know based off of what you say. It's just your perspective. Your perspective can be different from somebody else's.
Yeah. So I feel like that's how this relationship is. That's the only thing that's keeping me grounded there. Is being opposite. But I also believe it's bringing a conflict within me, whereby I start questioning things and I start, you snap and you do all those things. So I'm just trying to be a better person because I made the choice. That, hey, this is
what you want
different.
Okay.
But also it irritates me.
Because it's testing you. You're in unfamiliar territory, unfamiliar waters. So it's not something you already know. It's something that you're learning along the way. You don't have the answer to it because it's new to you. So it's affecting you because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. You can only assume what the outcome is going to be because you've never been to that point yet. That's why it's bothering you. It's unknown. So that's when you have to, is this something that you want to get involved with? Because, a relationship is not going to be, you're not going to know the answer to the outcome because it's two different people. That's why I say when you in a relationship or when you want to get married, they used to say 50-50 to equal 100. No, throw that out the window. You need 100% of a person, 100% of another person to come together and make that 200. Somebody say that's the only time math will be math and you can still have 100 to get 100%. No, you got 100, you're going to get 2%. It's just now that the 100% of two whole people, meaning you know who you are, you're comfortable with who you are, you know that there's going to be changes, you know that you have things that you have to work on, but you are willing to work on it and you want to make a relationship with that person. So it's two whole people coming together. Yes, balance. You have to have that balance so that you can go forward. And a lot of people are still in that 50% mentality thinking, okay, well, no, you got 50% of a person, not even a whole person. That 50% don't even know who they are. They can think they know who they are. So you got 50% people coming together to make a whole, and it's just a completion of confusion because you're not set on what you are or who you are. You said yourself that you're older, so you want something different. So this is why you're joining this relationship. You're agreeing for this relationship to happen. You're now at that 100% standpoint, and the other person be at 100%. So when you're coming together, you're going to go together and move forward. It's not perfect, and you're not going to know the outcome. You're not God. Only God knows all, sees all, can see way down the line. You have intuition and discernment to help you along the way. And if you can maintain that balance, that's a good word, balance, in that situation. Balance within yourself and then balance it within two people. Now you got a whole different person. Don't think the way you think. They don't see what you see. They don't even talk the way you talk. You can feel one way unless you ask them. You don't know if they're feeling the same way. They have to tell you how they're feeling. You can use your discernment and intuition to see if they're lying or telling the truth, but you still have to hear what they say. And then you can, based off of what they're saying and their action, if it doesn't match, that's another conversation. Listen, you're saying this, but you're doing this. Make that make sense to me, please. Explain it to me so that I understand, because I'm telling you, I don't understand. I want this to work, but I don't want to go into something that in that conversation that you're talking about within the first 3 months or 6 months, you're getting ideas. You're doing a report on this person. You're completing an application. You're getting all your questions done up front. So that way and I'm not going to say you can't eliminate everything that's going down the line in the future because we don't know what the future holds. But at least you got a solid foundation from this point to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Because once you get into that relationship and it turns into marriage, life is going to be life. Whether you have kids or don't have kids, you go through losses and different things. That's going to affect that person. And it might change that person's perspective or standpoint. That's why you have to do self-checks. Go back and check yourself. What are you feeling? What's going on with you? With God in yourself. God's always in us. So when I say yourself, I'm always including God in that. And then you get that better understanding. By you spend that time, God is working with you inwardly. And it's going to show and get bigger. It's going to shine outwardly. So then you're going to be that example that the other person sees. But you can't go down the line and you can't. I can't say you can't. You're going to get upset because you know who you are. But you got to keep in mind, wait a minute, I'm not a mind reader. I don't know the future. This is a new person I'm getting involved with. Remind yourself in that way so that you can get grounded. Whatever it takes to ground you to get to the point to where you can say, okay, listen, I feel my temperature rising. Let's have a conversation. Have the conversation. It's important. So many people don't want to talk. They think that if I look at you a certain way, I know what's going on. Y'all not there yet. If y'all together 60 years down the line, then you can just make a noise. You know what that person's feeling. They got a certain way they sit. You know what's going on. You know, that's down the line of getting to know somebody and getting familiar with them.
So it's a lot of work.
It's a relationship is a lot of work. If you think you go into a relationship just to have an easy someone to rub your back and rub your feet and please you when it's time, no, it's not that. Not now. You got two people that's using their mind. They're using their mouth using their mouth. They're two individual people, two different people. And if you like me, you different on top of different. I am one. There's no other person like me. I am unique and I'm different, and I'm not ashamed to say it. And that person might consider themselves to be different. So it's all you're constantly getting to know each other, constantly, because it's work.
They said it. They said it different. Ish. You know what? It's complicated. You're correct. I'm an overthinker. Listen.
You said you're an overthinker?
Yeah.
I'm a thinker too. So stop. If you know that's the situation or issue with you, you got to find things to calm your mind so that you're not overthinking. If there's books, read books. If there's music, that's why you always hear me playing music in the background. If you watch my lives, I have music on because that helps me get grounded and centered. If there's a song that comes on and I like it, I want to sing it. It brings me back to right now reality. Do what works for you to get to that point to where you're grounded. If you like to listen to hertz, certain hertz where it's just no words, just the vibrations, use that to get you into a calm space to where you can go ahead and proceed. You don't want to go at anything angry. You don't want to go at anything too over anxiety, anxious. You need to get to a calm place. And when you're calm, then you go into the direction of having that conversation, especially if you know you're overthinker, especially if you know that you get mad easily. Don't go at nothing angry. Calm yourself.
I've done the words. I get you. But this was a very hopeful conversation.
I'm glad.
Sure some other people would like to come up and have a conversation as well. It helps.
Yeah. Healing, communication is healing.
Yeah, I've bumped into I've ran into TikTok lives where people talk about a lot of things about relationship. It can be messy. There's so many people on platforms and people who have different views. And I understood why you didn't want me to come up because some people are very strong about how they're not open to ideas or anything. Even me, based on my relationships, I was like God. I'm one guy that's really open to anything. I love learning to know someone.
I love learning too. I think it's cool.
Yeah, even if she's a bossy person or this happens, but the minute they let you in and you're getting to know them and you're learning them, and I don't mind learning somebody and. Yeah, it's complicated. It gets complicated.
It does. But see, you have to have an open mind and you have to be balanced. First of all, you got to be balanced with yourself. You can't go into anything unbalanced because then you're going to make it. It's going to either the other person's going to either take over or you're going to take over, and it's not true to what it can be.
Yeah.
But I don't want to cut this short. The conversation is good, but I do have to go to work. I had a late start.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, thanks. So you usually get up around this time?
I usually get up at 5. I usually start at 5, but today, for some reason, I did not want to get up. I was sleeping. It was a dream that woke me up. So, but yeah, I do come on every day, Monday through Friday, around 5 o'clock. My goal is to get on by 5 o'clock. On the weekends, I still come on too, but I sleep a little bit later. So it might be 7, 8, might be 6.
You don't do afternoons or
mornings?
You do mornings.
I usually do mornings, and on the weekends I might touch on doing the afternoons. The afternoon crowd is a little bit different for me. I gotta get used to the afternoon crowd, but I can come on and do afternoons. It all depends on.
The evening sound is good, and during the weekend, we can share platforms. I got friends that could use the advice.
Oh, okay.
The host is chilled. She doesn't judge people.
Oh,
She
okay.
listens. Yeah.
Well,
a lot of us guys could use this.
Mhm.
This is what we need.
Yeah, a lot of people just want to keep flowing and not go ahead with it. But you can DM me. We can set that up so that we can go on different lives and different things like that. I try to be careful too. I don't want to go on something that's just too far out there, because usually if you're on lives, people associate you with whatever it is, and you might not agree 100% with what they're talking about. But I come on because I believe that communication conversations are healing. It's healing. People don't realize it. People don't do it because they think that you're being too nosy. But no, it's just helping. I'm not going to take your information and spread it out. If you have something that's beneficial and it's going to help somebody, I might pull from that. I'm not going to say who said it unless they want me to. Just to point out that we need each other in this world. We need each other. We really do.
Yeah, I've stored it enough. I don't like noisy lives. Except I'm from Zimbabwe,
Mm-hmm.
so except when I'm on those platforms where I can be all goofy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's about conversation, and if I see that this is getting a bit too heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's talking at the same time, and another person is calling out another person,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen TikTok can be messy.
It can.
So finding a platform like yours, it's pretty much rare, and I can definitely tell. You definitely can. You cut it off. You don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I can definitely. Yeah. You do have that other side. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. So, but thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. And like I said, come on again. If it flows like this, I'm good. And I give all honor and credit to God. So anything that comes out my mouth that helps you all out there, I give honor and respect and credit to God, because I consider myself to be a vessel to be used by God, so that God's people can be heard and helped.
And the interesting part is, I'm gonna be whatever you told me today. I'll probably give you an update. It's gonna be a surprise. You never know when I'll pop up. But
Okay.
this conversation is gonna stay in mind, and I'm gonna talk about it, and I'll tell you how it works.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to hearing it.
That's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, thanks a lot. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
I want you to be late.
All right. Thank you. Thanks. Have a good one. All right. And for all you out there, please check me out Monday through Friday, 5:00 a.m. Eastern time. If I'm a little bit late, please come and still check me out. It might be something that you can use to be beneficial, but I do have to get off this live and go ahead and do the next part of my day. So remember, stay in character. Don't let other people take you out of character. I encourage you to use your discernment and your intuition and flow. So remember, God loves you. I love you. You love you. Until next time, peace. Dun, 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 dun.